Hello, everyone, and welcome to Game 2 in the Return of the King 2025 Invitational. If you haven't seen the first video, the very short version is that this is a small tournament I put on where the Free People's player must crown Aragorn turn 1. I believe they'll fix the dice in a minute. It's supposed to be 2 characters, a will, and a palantir. Yep, there we go. Okay, I'm good at casting. And the action dice are preset. Free people must crown turn 1. More details in the first video, which I'll link in the description. This game 2 is Vayze against GoSagan. Friendly reminder, this is a best of 3. This was the game they decided was the best of their best of 3. So the winner of this is not necessarily the winner of the whole their match. So who we got on which side here? We got GoSagan on Shadow. You may recognize GoSagan from his recent participation in the finals of the tournament, the base game tournament. Yes, had to double check whether it was base or loam in my head. Where he did very well, and Vayze is also an extremely good player. And yep, so here we go. And we're off. Normally, I would say they roll. And there are no rules about who you have to bring. So Vayze is choosing to just bring Strider, not Boromir. Isengard is mustered. Strider keeps walking. Saruman comes in. Strider keeps walking. Fellowship, the Free People's player did not draw any cards that will help crown Aragorn, so they were required to give a ring. What did Shadow draw? Corsairs and Palantir. Those are strong cards. Wow. Yeah, you can play Palantir here because Free People is required to crown. And put Sauron to war. So, okay. Interesting decision. So far, the 2 games we've casted, Aragorn has gone to Minas Tirith both times. He was allowed to be crowned wherever is legal. So in we go to round 2. Free People gets Smeagol helps Nice Master and swords an Eriador and draws a 3rd card for some reason. I'm assuming that's a mistake. Yes, okay. Shadow draws Breaking of the Fellowship, and Shadow is moving. Unfortunately, neither is playable in the moment with a Palantir. So 0 eyes allocated. 2 rolled. And Fellowship basically repeats their previous roll. Begins with a pass. What's Shadow going to do? So Barad-dûr to Gorgoroth, okay, and Farharad to Nirharad. With Corsairs in hand, that makes sense to prioritize getting Dol Amroth under. Smeagol helps Nice Masters played, and Gandalf the Grey draws into an Ent. Cool. Gorgoroth to Minas Morgul, Nirharad to Umbar. Fellowship moves. Safe. Minas Morgul to South Ithilien. I don't know why I'm making that sound particularly important, but it is what they do. Fellowship moves and is safe. Osgiliath is attacked. Strategy card versus no card. It's a swarm of bats to prevent a runaway. Okay. Only 1 hit for... Oh, yeah, 1 hit on the reroll because of swarm of bats, so good on them. The Osgiliath guy gets 1 hit. Guys get 1 hit. And Strider runs away. Or Aragorn, I guess. Yep. Unfortunately makes sense. The ring is spent to attack Minas Tirith. Yep, get that on down. I'm a little surprised. I think I might have waited till next round to see if you could get Dol Amroth under with Southrons at war. Because now you've given Gondor the opportunity to muster Dol Amroth before you come in. Maybe that's not worth it. But Fellowship kills, or Free People's player kills the Palantir of Orthanc with a will, rather than mustering Gondor, interestingly. Okay. And the Witch King is brought in. So that makes sense. I'm sure they'll flip the North and the Dwarves. Yep, there they go. Shadow draws Pits of Mordor, which is a good desperate battle here, and give it to us. Free People draws There's Another Way and Power Too Great. Obviously, there's Another Way. It's a little early, and by a little, I mean a lot. But Power Too Great is very powerful. Words. I have the best of them. This is why you come to my channel. So where are we? So who's in the lead here? Start that over. Who's in the lead here? The Free People's player has moved twice. But has a crowned Aragorn on the map. Would love to get a Gandalf the White soon. But Shadow has a pretty good stack on top of an under mustered Minas Tirith. So I think still anybody's game, maybe a hair Shadow favored. One eye allocated. Ooh. And only one attack rolled. But enough musters to get the Southrons and Easterlings to war and Corsairs. So that's good. But the Free People gets 2 hybrids, 2 characters, and a will. Really too bad for the Shadow that Palantir of Orthanc is not still in play. Fellowship moves again, is safe. Southrons are moved towards war. Fellowship moves again. I do think it would be worth mustering elites in Dol Amroth right now. Regardless of whether you think Corsairs is in hand for Shadow, you're going to want the elites in there sometime. And what else are you doing with the hybrids right now? I think that was perhaps a bit of a mistake. Shadow does hit a 1-eye. Do you lose Gandalf? I would imagine so, even to a 1 reveal, or do you risk the Moria tile being the one to kill him? You take the 1 corruption, and it's a 2 reveal. There you go. Works out. And now you'll be able to get a Gandalf the White on time. That works nicely. Shadow puts everybody to war, and then Corsairs is, leaves 1 guy in Umbar. A little worried about a sneaky Free People's switcheroon. Early Corsairs is sweet. Yeah. Sucks for free. Shadow draws a strategy card and gets Return of the Witch King, so that could cause a pivot to... No, it won't. It'll be Swarm of Bats. Gondor really needs to get muster. I'm confused by the passing. Feels like Shadow could have taken this opportunity to step on Lamedon and Lossarnach. Maybe that would have been worth the time. But instead is spending their 1 attack on Minas Tirith, assumably a Swarm of Bats or Desperate Battle. It is indeed a Swarm of Bats to cancel the advantageous position. 1 hit incoming, 3 hits outgoing. So that's actually quite good for Free People. Stop, draw into an Oleg High. So forward mustering is good. 2 regulars for Gondor. Oleg High is played in Minas Tirith. That was quite a good draw for Shadow. And 2 half moves. Really, we're not just going to make units? Interesting. Not quite seeing the strategy there. Don't know what the mini undo there was. An elite is mustered in Orthanc. Okay. Free People's up to 6 dice. Free People at 6 is terrifying, at least for me. But Shadow's draws continue to be amazing. Shadows Gather and Dreadful Spells. Dreadful Spells not generally revered as a good card, but I like it. Free People's draws another Ent and Thranduils. This is a pretty stacked hand. Probably keep rid of the Kindred. And indeed it is the Kindred that is gotten rid of. Fellowship is okay. 1 eye allocated, 1 eye rolled. Plenty of attacks this time. 2 wills for the Free People, so assumably they're going to use 1 to hide. Yep. Not risk a 2 dice Day Without Dawn. And some Nazgul movement. Interesting. I wonder if Shadow is setting up for a Dreadful Spells. That would be fun if they were. At which point I would have said, hey, maybe spend the muster to get some more Nazgul first. But that's perhaps too many eggs in the one basket. An elite in Pelargir. Dreadful Spells is indeed played on Minas Tirith for 1 hit. This is why it's not considered a good card. Minas Tirith is attacked again. Desperate Battle versus no card. And there goes Minas Tirith. But 3 more hits. So That Minas Tirith army got a pretty good shellacking. Good job, guards at the Citadel. Shadow player draws Day Without Dawn. Good draw early. Fellowship moves. Hit on the reroll. Oof. An eye for a 1 corruption. And no, Strider's not around to help hide the Fellowship. Pardon me. Shadow takes the time to spend shifting Nazgul over to Dol Amroth. Okay. Just make sure of ourselves and then come sweeping back east. Makes sense. Fellowship hides with their will. Dol Amroth is attacked. And Mumakil. Interesting. Mumakil. I would have... Yeah. Yeah, it's your best combat effect. Yeah, okay. And just rolls 3 6s, so okay. There goes Dol Amroth. So poor Gondor was put to war so early and yet so little effect. Another elite in Pelargir, though. That army's starting to be worth something and definitely will slow down the Easterlings, the Southrons, if they go somewhere. In the meantime, South Rune moves to East Rune and Dol Guldur to North Anduin Vale. So threatening the Dew Line, or more specifically Woodland Realm, probably. And Lorien, do you play Power 2 Great here already? You're about to overdraw. I would say that or Thronduils, but I kind of lean Power 2 Great personally. We're going to double Ents into maybe Axe and Bow. I like that. One hit from the first one. Really, you're saving... You spent Hjorndark, but are saving Nameless Wood? Interesting. Oof. And Horde from the East, I must have missed that as a redraw above Dol Amroth. Horde from the East for 5 regulars in East Rune. That's unfortunate for Free Peoples. Fearfire Foes is drawn. Unfortunately, no one is over there to turn on the north. And Shadow draws Nazgul Search and Musterings of Long Planned War. The previous game saw a pretty fun play of Musterings of the Long Planned War, so definitely go check it out if you haven't. 1 eye allocated. And sorry, we're moving pretty fast. Hopefully that's not too disorienting. Just feels like the moves have been relatively straightforward. 1 eye allocated. None rolled. Oof. Really good roll for free if you want to run the Fellowship. They have rolled so many character dice. I'm not going to show you the stats break if I show them right now, but they're only +2 on characters, so a thoroughly reasonable number of character dice. Spends a will to get Iron Hills to Erebor and West Imnet to Helm's Deep. That makes sense. Unfortunately, it does allow a free take of Iron Hills. Yeah, that is kind of how that goes. Fellowship moves, is safe even with the reroll. Erebor is put under siege. Yeah, with those 5 bonus regulars, Erebor could fall relatively fast. Fellowship moves is hit for a 3, but Axe and Bow with a random as opposed to Legolas, who is perfect. I guess maybe you want the Hobbit to pop out. Okay, that actually kind of makes a bit of sense. And you put the Hobbit in Helm's Deep. As opposed to Gandalf? Like into Fangorn and then Gandalf goes somewhere? Interesting. Shadow recruits 2 Nazgul. That's fun. Always fun to see Shadow recruiting Nazgul. Fellowship moves again a 3rd time, is hit for a 1, and just tanks it. Okay. Nazgul Search is played to move. Interesting. Shadow is just leaving Pelargir alone. I suppose if you take Dale and Edoras, you don't have to worry about it. And what's it going to do? Go retake Minas Tirith against 2 regulars and 2 elites? That seems unlikely. But you kind of set yourself up for a Free People's military victory attempt at some point, right? Or at least threaten it. Interesting. Fellowship reveals over into no man's land. Okay. Thranduil's Archers is played for a redraw into Éomer. Good card for the Free People here. Erebor is attacked. Dread and Despair versus Shield Wall. Decent. 2 incoming for Shadow, which is then reduced. And stop draw. Okay. Into a red tile. Fellowship passes. Yeah, Day Without Dawn. Interesting. Your Day Without Dawning with the hybrid rather than the Palantir? Why? I'm not getting that one. Oh, you just want to put both red tiles in? I guess. I guess the Fellowship's close. The Fellowship's closer than I'm giving them credit for. And the Hunt pool is not that used up. Yeah, they got hit some. But 2 of them were eyes. So, okay, 2 red tiles in makes some sense. I say as if, like, I have any room to question Vayze and their 2,000 games. But I'm the one with the mic. Ha 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 ha. Anyway. Ooh, Free People gets Horn of Gondor, which is playable, and Spirit of Mordor, which is a fun card, but not playable right now. Probably going to be playable in Lorien at some point. We would suspect the North Dunlander to join over. I suspect House of Stewards is going to go here because Brave Stand is not helpful. Yes, House of Stewards is gone. 1 eye allocated, none more rolled. And that's the kind of roll that could get Fellowship to Mordor this round with some spare musters. And a Palantir for Horn or Power 2 Grade or Éomer or Spirit of Mordor. I like it. Fellowship hides. No longer afraid of Day Without Dawn, so that's good. But an Isildur's Bane, I guess I missed that as the draw for Shadow. Their other one being Devilry of Orthanc, since Minas Tirith has already fallen. Isildur's Bane, come on, eye. That's a 1 reveal. That's going to mean the Fellowship is going to have to spend a ring to get to Mordor, which is reasonable. An elite in Orthanc. Fellowship moves. Safe. Elite in Orthanc. Fellowship passes. Erebor is attacked with a card. Desperate Battle is spent on Erebor for 4 hits. Oofda. 2 back from free. Press draw. Into New Powers Rising. Oh my goodness. Oh, and he just uses it here. I guess is the Shadow out of Isengard Elites? No. Just really wants this battle to be done, I guess. Okay. Well, auto hit and Erebor has fallen, bringing Shadow to 6 points. So they need Dale Helm's Deep Edoras, Lorien Helm's Deep. Pardon me. Yeah, getting kind of tight. See, you spend this muster here, you could have had 2 elites with New Powers Rising and regulars in North Dunland to get to Lorien. Ah, well. Elven Ring spent on the muster. Okay. Fellowship makes Mordor safe and sound. Good for them. I mean, with a 2 draw killing Legolas, but aside from that, safe and sound. The Nazgul all... Whoa. Back up there, folks. Okay. The Nazgul pop over to Lorien or to outside Lorien and to Orthanc. Ford's retreats to Helm's Deep. That makes sense. Especially because you're holding Éomer. And North Downs to Etten Moors. Sure. Feels like moving that Pelargir army somewhere might make sense, but I guess if you do that, then you make it so the shadow player can easily get a point. It's probably worth it for them to just sit there. Forwards his attack, no card, no card. One in, one out. And chooses to leave only 2 guys. The Free People's player is holding an Ent. Do they spend it now? I don't think they should. They should get Eomer in play. Yeah, okay. Eomer's in play. Helm's Deep is put under. But Free People gets to go first next round, and they might cancel all those Warg rerolls. I think this game's actually closer than it might look, especially given Power Too Great is in hand, and Shadow Player is drawing very low on cards. That said, they do have a character card and a army card, 2 copies, and have Hill Trolls. Maybe it's not as far away. We Prove the Swifter could make a really big difference here, though. If you ent to killing Saruman, then We Prove the Swifter into hiding in Helm's Deep with Hobbit. That could really cause some sadness for Shadow, I think. That could be and Horn of Gondor is discarded. Yeah, you got a really stacked hand here. Probably throw the scouts, but when are you going to have the time to play Horn? There's our hunt pool. Not great for the Fellowship. They'd actually like the 2 3s to come off the top, probably. Get down to Gollum. Kind of scary. Gonna take at least 2 turns to get up Mordor, but 6 dice for Fellowship is good. 1 eye allocated. 1 more rolled, plenty of attacks, and 1 billion characters. That's... Surely the Free People is up on characters. Yeah, Free People is up 5 on characters. Oh, jeez. That's... Yes, well said, Vayze. Jeez. Okay, well, Fellowship moves. Gets an eye. So goodbye, Gimli. Candles of Corpses is played for 2. That is really unfortunate. However, that was Shadow's only character card. So Power Too Great completely protects Lorien. It would take a ring to do it. Helm's Deep is attacked. Really too bad we didn't have time. We didn't feel we had the time to play. We knew the Shadow was out of character cards. I think the Fellowship should have absolutely played Ents there. Then you have your whatever it is, 2/3 chance? Not 2/3. Your whatever it is of killing Saruman. And then you We Prove the Swifter either into Helm's Deep or to Lorien. Yeah, that would be my suggestion. Card versus card. It's We Come to Kill, above Helm's Deep or Shield Wall. 2 is reduced to 1. So 2 hits outgoing, 1 hit incoming. That's good for decent odds for free. The post, what are we doing here? Post of 4 elites gets 2 more hits, unfortunately. That's a problem. Press draw, yep. Into a relentless assault. We're going to play it. Devilry versus Nameless Wood. Okay. 2 for Shadow. And 5 for free. Maybe we hold a press. Why? We have plenty of... Oh, okay. Free did... or Shadow did stop. It's just 3 regulars versus 2 regulars. Fellowship moves again. It's a 3 for perfect change down to Gollum, so that's good. And now they have There's Another Way. That's good. Ring draw into Shelob. Oof. Free People, you pass. But why? And now Shelob's in the pool. Going to muster a regular in Westamnet and in Edoras. So maybe Aragorn will ride to save Helm's Deep yet. I think we have bought another round for Frodo. Dimril Dale comes south to Parth Celebrant. So we're going to take Helm's Deep, Edoras, and presumably Dale as our points and just let the elves be. Okay. Interesting. A ring is spent on a character to do what? Hybrid for reinforcements? Okay. 2 regulars, 1 in Westimnet, 1 in Edoras. Another dual move. Shadow is moving in. It's actually fairly close. They're talking about the hunt pool. What's the hunt pool look like? That's the used pile. 3 red, 3 eyes, but 5 tiles that are 0s, 1s, or -1s. Kind of a 50-50 depending on how you want to think about it. I think Free People's moves to Westimnat. I think you move, don't you? Or you maybe even We Prove the Swifter to Edoras. I wouldn't really think that's a good move, but you could. Oh, you would. There is another way. Surely, right? Maybe the intention is just thoroughly to bank on that next round when the eyes will be less impactful. That makes sense. But moving to Westimnet. Helm's Deep is attack, strat card versus character card. The Hobbit does do his Daring Defiance of the Relentless Assault. That could be huge, and it is. Shadow gets no hits. Ooh, Aragorn. It's really too bad he doesn't have help as another way. Help unlooked for. Come on, Free People draw help unlooked for, please. No, fine. And in retrospect, Fellowship Free Peoples does have 2 scouts and has seen, I believe, 2 swarm of bats. So the likelihood that scouts can save Aragorn down back to Edoras or even to Fords, or to Fangorn to join Gandalf, is pretty good. What does Shadow get? Shadow gets Many Kings and Lidless Eye. Lidless Eye could matter. Oh, they had Many Kings. Okay. They get Stormcrow. Great Host is unfortunately useful here for them. Or could be. Maybe. But the Lidless Eye could have an effect. We're actually... I was moving a little fast, and I felt like Shadow really had a handle on this game, but 6 dice for Free People. They're out of rings. It's a decent chance. 1 eye allocated, 1 eye rolled, and only 2 attacks. Shadow did not get the mouth last round, so even if they would have to spend a Palantir with the ring to get the mouth, and then their muster can be an attack. So they have 3 attacks maximum. And Fellowship gets a very, very, a very nice roll. All sorts of options. And like we've said, there's another way. They have 1 muster. Do you try and relieve the siege of Helm's Deep with 4 regulars and Aragorn? You have a Daring Defiance. I suspect not. I suspect you just muster. Interesting. So if Shadow wants to win, can Shadow win at all? I don't think Shadow can win. They need an attack to take Helm's Deep, an attack to take Dale, and 2 moves to take Edoras. That's the nearest, closest, only points. There is no... they have a ring. Nope, but that's it. So you have... If they have Black Captain commands or Ring Wraiths Abroad, they get 1 more, and that's game. But in practice, they don't. Although they have 3 Palantirs to draw 1. Interesting. Yeah, GoSagan even points out I can't even win this turn, although maybe he's lying about the with the right cards, yes. Okay, well, I'm glad I'm on the same page as these players. There's another way I think is a very strong first play. into Shelob is less good. A Shelob 5. Okay, well that sucks. Helm's Deep is attacked. Daring Defiance again. That Hobbit, he be daring and he be defiant. 1 incoming from Shadow, 2 outgoing from Free, and they can't press. Now I think you relieve the siege. Yes. Relieve the siege with Aragorn. What card do you play here? I think you play the No Quarter. I think you play the No Quarter and hopefully stab the Witch King. Yeah. So he's canceling Aragorn with Words of Power. No hits from Free, 1 from Shadow. Surely you press. Yes. The siege is relieved. Westamnet is stacked. Assumably you muster. Yeah, okay. Yep. The Witch King draw from the previous battle. You muster an elite in Helm's Deep. Helm's Deep is put under siege by just 1 regular. Why? I missed something. All right. Free People's draws File, which is obviously fan-flippin-tastic. Shadow draws Foul Thing, which is good for them. Free People's is really going to need a bit of help. They play Foul Thing into the red tile, so good. Cruel Weather and the Mouth into Moria. Yeah, the Fellowship is what we call in trouble. Elven Cloaks is a good draw. We're down to just 1 red tile, and there are 2 zeros in a blue tile with File and the other and Elven Cloaks. That would be 5 tiles for no damage, or healing, out of 13 tiles in the pool, which is not like great odds, but it's not trash odds. And maybe you draw into Bilbo's. Maybe you draw into Bilbo's or Athelas, but mostly Bilbo's. 1 eye allocated, 3 more rolled, and again, only 3 attacks and a muster, so 4 attacks with the mouth. That is enough to win the game, assuming Helm's Deep doesn't prove some sort of heroic defense. And all the movement for Fellowship. Java wants to see a dunk. Fellowship is still, the Free People is still +6 on movement. Starts by drawing a character card, sure, to help defend. And actually, Grey Company is an amazing draw here. Edoras has taken, all of Rohan is stepped upon. File is played. Helm's Deep is put under siege. Once again, so Shadow has 1 attack for Helm's Deep and 1 attack for Dale. I think you play Brave Stand, right? Or excuse me. Well, do you play Grey Company for the elite? Yeah, you gotta. Really? You're putting in all your blue tiles and hoping for a dunk or a hold from Aragorn and then a dunk. Surely you Grey Company to get 1 more HP in Helm's Deep and 2 strategy cards, which will quite possibly help you defend. Interesting. Mouth is flipped. Helm's Deep is attacked. I guess the Brave Stand is effectively a daylight, so in that sense, maybe the daylight is worth more than 1 HP. Confusion versus Dread and Despair, that could be really good. Interesting, Shadow didn't use Grond. Yeah, that's a tight enough battle. I'd be pretty scared. And they roll 2 hits against themselves, so 2 incoming and 2 outgoing, quote unquote. Shadow takes their elite, and that means they do not have enough attacks to win this round. The downside is the Fellowship has to move or auto-corrupt. And the other bad news is Shadow just drew Orc Patrol. Okay, well, Free Peoples draws into Athelas. An elite is made in Orthanc, so we'll use Athelas. Come on, 1 healing. That's pretty big. That makes the one well, anyway, yeah, the 2 no reveal tile into survivable. So you have the 3 zeros, the 2 1s, the -2, the -1, and the 2. So half the tiles are survivable, slightly more. Shadow makes an elite in Orthanc. Yep, we got to move. Can we do it? It's a 0. We get another round. And Free People's down to only 11 cards in the character deck. Drawing Bilbos is becoming more and more likely. But here's the Orc Patrol. Come on, Eye. Give us another round. It is. Yeah. Oh. So the Java is very fair. I'm very confident in its randomness. But boy, Orc Patrol draws an eye for me more than any of the other Shadow tile drawing cards. I don't know if that's true for all of you, but boy, it feels to me that Orc Patrol in specific does that for me. Oh, wow. Okay. And the Free People have bought another round. Shadow draws some cards that definitely matter. I'm sure I care about them. Dead Men. Normally extremely good with Aragorn. You could just use it to teleport Aragorn out. But I don't see that mattering here. One eye allocated. One eye rolled. And again, only 4 attacks, including the mouth. Now they have finally drawn, Shadow has finally drawn Ring Wraiths Are Abroad, so they have 4 attacks and then 5 with the Palantir. Base. Holy cow. The Fellowship, the Free Peoples have just rolled characters, 37 characters in Will of the West this game out of how many dice? 52. 2/3 of their dice have been characters and wills, which, to be fair, half the faces on the die are characters and wills, but still. Oh, very silly. Okay. What do we do first? Do you move first? You were gonna have to move at some point as Free People. Do you move first? Not with a will, though, right? He draws Bilbo's Song. Yes. Oh man, that's great. Oh man, these games are so good. Orthanc moves out, and Edoras, he's just gonna pile up on Helm's Deep. That's fantastic. Plays Bilbo's Song. Stack up on Aragorn there. Okay. Back from the brink. Yeah, we're down to 8 corruption when we were at 11. The Fellowship moves. All right, here's the hunt pool. He can survive anything. Anything. The 3 red being a really big problem, but he can survive anything. It's a eye, which is unfortunate, but takes it. Fighting Urukai is played on Helm's Deep, so that is almost certainly, the end of Helm's Deep. Daylight against Akula's Death. No hits incoming. 3 hits outgoing. Could Helm's Deep just hold on its own? Draws into Durin's Bane, which is not helpful. A Brave Stand, which is effectively another Daylight. Man, which one is it, Mary? Is it Mary? Yeah, theme. Mary has been doing an amazing job helping hold Helm's Deep. Unfortunately, Words of Power will cancel assumably Aragorn. No hits for Shadow. But no hits for free. Round 3, more cards. Sudden Strike versus Great Host. Sudden Strike. Whoa. 5 leadership? 5 leadership. Geez, I missed that. Why have I been missing that? 3 hits from a Sudden Strike. That's a big deal. Puts the Shadow out of getting 5 dice, and they miss again. So they've had 3 dice with rerolls. So 12 dice plus these 8 for 20 dice with no 6s rolled. And Free People gets 3 hits back. Aragorn and Merryhold. Oh my goodness. That's amazing. Now Shadow does draw into a red tile, which is sad for Free People. I'll stop ragging on the Shadow player now. Poor GoSagan got no hits. All right. No hits. That's so funny. Okay. Shadow, of course, plays their red tile. Yep. Now, the Fellowship no longer has to move. Let me make sure that's a true statement. Shadow is showing 1 attack. Maybe they have a Black Captain commands, but that wouldn't be enough to... They don't have enough to win. Not meaningfully. Yeah, so as Free People, you know you can wait 1 round. Is it even worth it? Yeah, I would say yes. If only 1 eye is allocated and only 1 eye is rolled, then you can survive eyes, as well as the theoretically draw into Elven Rope in the meantime, I would say. And so in the meantime, you can draw a character card. Yep, you get Wizard Staff, which isn't helpful, but hopefully makes you capable of drawing what you need next round. An Orthanc. Don't think I can hurt my odds by waiting. Yes, I believe that's a sortie at Helm's Deep. Yay! I approve. This game is Iterelde Captain of the Ring approved. With your 0 cards that matter. Now, if you sortie but play scouts, that's the real winning position there. Play mind games. Character card. Yep, so Foul Stench cancels the leadership for the Free People. 1 hit outgoing. None taken. Press. And the siege is completely relieved. Unfortunately, you have allowed the Shadow player to redraw a card by doing that. That is the downside. Fortunately for the Free People, the Shadow has drawn into Lure of the Ring, which doesn't matter right now. Although, maybe, very unlikely. You can't play Lure of the Ring, sir. You still can't play Lure of the Ring. You still can't. Yep, there we go. Okay. Draws into Black Captain commands, which maybe matters someday, but not. Shadow moves. Yeah, okay. Let's go take Dale while we've got it. They scouts. Okay. Oh, he's just using it as a cycle. Draws into Warn with Sorrow and Toil. What are you looking for as Shadow? Breaking? Was Breaking played earlier? I'm not going to think about it. All right. All right. And now Shadow, actually, like, what are you even taking next round? You can't really even meaningfully threaten Helm's Deep. Now, granted, Fellowship not moving for an entire round is probably catastrophically bad for them, but it'd be fun to see a Free People's military victory. As Pelargir takes Minas Morgul and Lorien goes takes Dol Guldur or something. I don't see that actually happening, but it'd be funny. All right. We get 1 more round. And Free People gets Mithril Coat. Yeah. I'm sorry. GoSagan, we're buddies, and I'm not trying to cheer against you, but boy, the Free People was out and down for the count, and they are pulling it back. So I'm rooting for the underdog, not against you. Shadow gets Flocks of Crebain and Rage of the Dunlendings. Rage actually could theoretically reinforce for a take of Helm's Deep really helpfully. 1 eye allocated, 2 more rolled, so that the situation did in fact get worse for the Fellowship. Eyes are now deadly. They begin with Mithril Coat, of course, although I guess you don't need more moves, so you might as well just play it with a character. Shadow draws into Nazgul Strike. They're looking for some card. I don't know what the last card is, but they're looking for it. And we're going to try. So there's the hunt pool. You survive the 2, the blues, the 0, and the 1s. So what? 7 of the 11 tiles you survive, and you have a redraw. That's pretty good odds. There's the eye. So we're into a reroll. Now you survive 7 of the 10. It's a 1. Oh, poor Shadow. Poor Shadow. But an amazing set of plays. Good job, Vayze, playing. I could not believe that I could not take HD there. No joke. Oh, insane. Thank you, Vayze. Thank you, GoSagan, for submitting this game. And thank all of you for watching. I've got a bunch more games in this tournament coming. This is game 2 of... So it's an 8-player invitational. This is the second pairing, and I will be casting 1 game per pairing. So the intent is to have 5 more games after this. Not sure the release schedule on these, but keep an eye on the channel, and I'll see y'all in the next one.